Welcome in. We're live. Very exciting day today. This is the fall equinox ceremony, and it's also the new moon in Virgo. It's our second new moon in Virgo, as you know. But tonight we are at the 29th degree. Actually, we're overnight. The new moon occurred and the eclipse occurred exactly overnight Pacific time. So we had our option of being live with you on Sunday or Monday, and I know sometimes weekends are tricky, so we chose Monday. But it is great to see you. I'm glad you can hear me. I'm glad you can see me. I have some fun things planned for us tonight. A little sound medicine, a little reading, because, every time we come to one of the high holidays, I like to go back to this book, my Book of Blessings, that a lot of you have. If you don't have it, I'm going to read to you. And then I also have another little bit of reading that I want to do from this book as part of our ceremonial work tonight. Because eclipses for me, and I'm so happy to see you, by the way, and would love for you to, it's always fun for you to check in and let us know where you're live from. And if anybody's brand new to moon ceremony or to what a time to join us, right, for the eclipse. I think this is probably one of the more impactful ceremonies for the rest of the year. So I'm really glad that you're here. And then we're going to do a little releasing ritual, but in a very different way than I've ever done it with you before, because I'm going to be using this book. I found out about this book in social media, and I just want to give a huge shout out to the author, Heidi Priebe. I think it is one of the best books I have read on the process of letting go. It's I don't know Heidi. I don't benefit in any way from sharing her work with you. I literally stumbled upon it as a consumer, as a reader. And then I thought, my community needs to know about this book, because so many of you are also in the process of letting go of difficult things, right? People that you love, relationships you may have been in for a long time, and that's what this eclipse is pulling up. So this eclipse, as you know, is the second of two. How are you doing from the first eclipse? Have you recovered fully from the first one? Because, the period from 2 weeks ago to yesterday today is always an interesting one, right? We are, it's kind of like walking between the worlds, as we say in shamanism, right? You're not quite where you were, and you're not quite where you're going to be yet. And so we're trying to kind of define the terms of what this next phase of life is going to look like. And yeah, so you're still dealing with the after effects. I am too, by the way. I found the last eclipse to be really overwhelming. So much is still changing and shifting in my life. And so, but I'm excited about it, because one of the things that this eclipse is asking you to look at, think about Virgo, right? Because tonight's eclipse is at 29 degrees, which, by the way, the 29th degree, also known in astrology as the anaretic degree, is called the crisis degree. Do you know that? And at this new moon, we have the new moon at 29 degrees Virgo, and then we have Saturn at 29 degrees Pisces. So we have two big planets at the anaretic degrees of the signs that this eclipse is triggering, which is both my Virgos and my Pisces. So who is Sun, Moon, Rising Virgo or Sun, Moon, Rising Pisces? Because you guys have been really on the front burner this whole year when it comes to shifting, changing, adapting, growing. So yeah, it's not my placements, but I've had years in the past where the eclipses were all up in my business. So I'm happy to leave it to you guys this time to really be sorting it out, especially if you have a Sun Virgo. The Virgos in my world are really feeling it. They have felt, one of my dear friends who's a Virgo moon said he feels like his back is against the wall a little bit. And I don't know if that's accurate for most people, but I've been kind of hearing sentiments like that. Like, wow, it's like I'm between a rock and a hard place, and I don't really have choices at this point. I just have to make a change, and I have to try to use my best judgment and intuition to make a change that's going to be aligned with my highest good. So yeah, if your back is against the wall, here's the thing. There's no way out but through. Sometimes we have to go through these challenges and through these emotions and through these experiences just to get to the other side. But a big part of tonight, so I came up with a theory part of what I love is I've been doing this work since I was 15, and I'm 52. So it's been a long time. I've been teaching through Sage Goddess for 14 years. My thinking is still evolving on some of these things. As I was preparing for you last night, which is what I spent last night doing, I was thinking to myself, aren't eclipses really about forgiveness more than even releasing? And isn't releasing really just the process of forgiving something? Because that's how we let things go, is we decide to forgive, right? We release grief when we finally decide to, forgive a greater power for taking our loved one, right? That's a big part of releasing. Aren't you sweet? I really appreciate that. So that's what I'm going with tonight for us. If that's okay with you, I'm going with this idea that the best thing we can do tonight is focus on forgiveness. And new moons are always about releasing and setting intentions. So the way I would like to release with you tonight, if I have your divine cosmic permission, the way I would like to release with you tonight is I would like to use this book, which has 14, it's chapter 12, 14 things it's time you forgave yourself for. So if you like the idea, I'm gonna go through these 14 with you. One of them is kind of silly, but I think there's a deeper meaning behind it. Because what I realized in going through it myself and asking myself these questions is, if I can forgive these 14 things, my life is going to be different. If I can really do it. So it's a really impactful 2 pages of quick insights, but I'm going to read each one, and then we're going to use our breath to forgive that thing. Here's the other thing I'm kind of toying with the idea, and I'm curious what your thoughts are. I'm not sure we really have to forgive other people. This is a weird one for me. But what I'm realizing is, like, even when I go to forgive somebody for something that they did or something that they said or anything like that, really, what I'm realizing is I'm the one who's holding it, right? Like, oftentimes that person isn't holding on to it, but I am. So there's a little bit of forgiveness for myself, or grace for myself for holding on to whatever it is that I'm still holding on to. So I think the work focuses on forgiveness, and I think it focuses on ourselves. It isn't really so much about other people. So once again, here's the book. Highly recommend it. It's beautiful. You'll enjoy it. If you aren't letting anything or anyone go in your life, I would be surprised. But if you're not, get this as a holiday gift for somebody on your holiday list. You know what I mean? It's just a significant book. It's a small book. You'll consume it like a good meal. You know what I mean? Once you pick it up, you can't really put it down. So yeah, it's really about you. Tonight's about you. Now, I did want to tell you my ritual every year, and I didn't want to not do it this year, is I go into my garden. I love growing things. It's not my only therapy, but it's definitely my cheapest therapy is the garden. And find something that is ripe, right? Today is the main harvest. There's 3 harvests. So we had the first one on August 1st, which is llamas. That's behind us. And then we have the second harvest, which is today, May 1, already September 21, 22. And then we have the third harvest, which is the harvest of the dead at Halloween time, which is Samhain. So we'll celebrate the harvest one more time. If you have your Sage Goddess harvest candle, I'm going to be burning that tonight. So, because this is the second harvest. So we are here in our map of the 3 harvests. And then at Samhain time, we'll be working with the third goddess. So I thought I would do it with you. So what I brought from my garden, I brought a rose. I brought a nasturtium. And I brought some tomatoes. Aren't they cute? This little tomato plant of mine always gives me 3, I guess there was a 4th little yellow one, gives me rainbow tomatoes. So I'm going to make myself a little flower tomato sandwich to eat with you. And just a little gesture of gratitude. So if you have something fresh in your garden, maybe if you just have herbs, maybe make yourself some mint tea. If you have mint or rosemary, would make a great tea too. I don't know what you have growing in your garden. So if you have a beautiful rose, make some tea, make some rose tea with that. Would be really nice. Or you could make just a small batch of rose water for yourself. Aloe would be great. There's nothing better for the digestive tract. By the way, I know it's like sometimes we get into these conversations and I'm like, is that TMI? This eclipse is messing with everyone's digestion. Maybe not yours, everybody's. So the other thing I'll tell you, because Virgo rules the intestinal tract. So if you are having a great time with your digestive health, I'm really happy for you. But most of us are on a little bit of a kick. So it really does. This eclipse is, because one of the things about stress and transition and transformation is that's a solar plexus job, right? It's one of the reasons why I have my solar plexus bowl to play for you, because I thought, well, maybe I can help, right? But yeah, stomach aches. A lot of people around me are like, do I have a stomach flu? And I'm like, no, you have an eclipse episode. Yeah. And even if it's just like an unsettled stomach, I'm not saying that maybe you've got like, I'm not saying you're throwing up or things like that, but if you just have an unsettled stomach, this eclipse is guilty of that, and it'll pass. Literally and figuratively, it will pass. So, okay. Any questions before I read to you? I want to invite you to roll your shoulders back, call your energy into present time, be here now with me. For those who celebrate, I want to wish you a really blessed Rosh Hashanah, right? It is the new year for everybody, so Happy New Year. For those who celebrate in that tradition, I was reminding my team, most of the major spiritual traditions consider this time of year to be the end of the year and the start of the new year, right? Certainly in the Jewish tradition, for those of us in the earth-based pagan Wiccan traditions. And so anytime between now and October 31st is our new year. So I've never felt like January 1 is the new year, because this time of year always feels like sacred endings and beginnings. And blessings to you, Cindy. Oof. Yeah. So anyway, just take good care of yourself and just go easy on your digestive system for the next couple of days while we move through this. So I'm reading to you from page 97. This is the blessing and invocation for the fall equinox. So just roll your shoulders back and relax and enjoy while I read to you. A calling to celebrate your soul's harvest. We turn to the west today. That's sweet. So remember, summer is south, which is the direction of high noon, your childhood and your adolescent years, right? Now we're becoming older and wiser as we turn toward fall, and we turn toward west, which is the direction of water. So we turn to the west today, and Mother Ocean says, yes. Her waves crash upon the shore, and she is ready to receive you and take from you all the burdens you shall no longer carry into the seasons of acceptance and rest. We turn to the west today, and Mother Ocean says, now. Her waters are still at midday as Father Sun casts his beams of light upon her and caresses her like a lover. She is ready to teach you how to be still and receive, so that you hear the messages of your elders now as the veil thins. We turn to the west today, and Mother Ocean says, come. Her deep blue majesty is an open invitation to create better flow in your life. She holds the keys to creation, manifestation, and your rebirth. And she can offer you the path, the lightness of being, the deep permission to just be. Your work of the year is done. That's what today means. Your work of 2025, most of it, is done. Now, I'm not writing you a note telling your boss that you never have to show up again until 2026. That's not what I mean. But energetically, our capacity to really build, show, create, establish, right? Think of your garden. You're not going out there right now and planting new crops and new seeds. They won't make it, right? So we're going to tend the crops we've been growing. We're going to continue to nourish the soil and water everything, but understanding that what we were trying to grow this year is now either fully in bloom and blossoming and fruiting, or it's not coming. And so even now we start to think about the work of next year. We turn to the west today, and Mother Ocean says, let go. Her vast expanse and power can hold the things that weigh you down, and your worries can sink to her bottom, float to her edges, while you experience her embrace. She sees your fear, and she washes it away so that you can live in pure, radiant joy and peace. Mother Ocean has been waiting for you since summertime. The guardians and gatekeepers of the West greet you today with open arms. So yes, now come, let go. Your work is done. And so the season of balance, acceptance, stillness, and release begins. And together we say, Amen, aho, and so it is. Amen, aho, and so it is. I'm glad you like that book. I always tell you that story. I've published 4 books. This book was the one my publisher did not want to publish, just because it seemed a little personal. It's like, it's all of my original blessings, invocations, crafting suggestions and stuff since the beginning of time, right? Since I was way before Sage Goddess. And it ended up being one of the more popular books. So it goes to show you guys really do like practical little, it's not a novel. You're not going to sit down and read it. It's really just designed for you to turn the page to a holiday and have some inspiration. So thank you for loving my favorite book. Is it still your favorite book? Yay! Until the cookbook comes out, right? The cookbook's going to be really good. I have no idea when the cookbook is coming, but it is coming. Okay. So new moon in Virgo, solar eclipse. I just want to briefly ground us, establish what's happening, right, for today so you understand the importance of this moment. This is the last eclipse of 2025. So we made it now through, and that's another reason why there's a release after this. There's just a little bit of an exhale, right? The energy for the rest of the year is going to be relatively stable, predictable, clear, right? A little slower, a little lower, right? So we can feel a little bit more grounded. Leading up to this, we've felt like we can't find our footing. And I don't know about you, but I see it on the collective level right now. Like, I just feel like I'm not avoiding social media, but it's sort of like none of us can find our footing. And it's like we're all kind of, fumbling a little bit to figure out what's going on. So I do anticipate both astrologically and energetically a little bit of a stabilizing of the energy as we head toward the end of the year. Not as much upheaval. But the month isn't over yet. The rest of September is a little bit of a ride. So you just have to kind of inhale, exhale, take things with a grain of salt, raise the vibration. So this eclipse cycle, this last 2, right, between the full moon and the new moon tonight, this last 2 weeks is really about letting something significant go. And it may not be a person or a thing. It could be a feeling or an attachment to something that, maybe you've needed to make a change in a habit or a dynamic in your life, but you've been reluctant because you're, a good person, or because there's things about it that you do love, even though it's really difficult for you, or whatever it is. But I'm going to make a guess, okay, just on a higher consciousness level. Have you had something in your life that you have thought, I need to let this go? Again, it could be a habit, it could be a pattern, it could be a way you think about something. And some part of you is like, yeah, you know what? The last month has shown me this isn't working. The last month kind of has shown me I need to do this. I'm not happy about it. I wish I didn't have to. But yeah, I can't really deny it anymore. How many of you guys would say that you're there? Because it's happened for me. And I'm again, you have to be thankful for these moments, because if you do eclipse right, it's almost like exfoliating. You emerge from it a little bit lighter, maybe a little sad, but definitely a little clearer, right? And Shannon's saying it's not just one thing, but it's, a couple of things. And it can be a couple of things. It can also be, because Virgo works this way, and Pisces works this way too, in systems, right? Pisces and Virgo are 2 signs that operate in systems. These are not signs that really function ideally on their own, right? Because Virgo is a healer too. Virgo is partly a healer of the collective. And Virgo is about maintaining order, and not just for themselves, but for systems, right? And Pisces is not a solo sign. Pisces needs relationship to thrive. Because Pisces is about the collective dream, and Virgo is about the collective healing. So it could be that it's a systems thing for you, right? Especially if you are a Pisces or a Virgo, it could be like you're having to let go of a system, which could be like a job, but a career, and all kinds of things at the same time, if that makes sense. letting go of friendship, right? Yep. Regina said, sad in grief, ready to move forward. Are you ready to do it? I think you are. I think we all are. I'm ready to feel a little lighter. You know, I'm ready to release some of the density and the heaviness. I love it. Okay. So eclipses are really just frequencies that open your hand to let the releasing process happen more smoothly. Like if you really pay attention during an eclipse, you're going to see stuff that you don't like. So that's what I also want you to let go of tonight. Like if the last 2 weeks have really been like, oh, look at this, look at this, look at this, and you're like, I'm done. Like I just don't want to keep looking. You can also release that, because remember, Virgo always puts a microscope to everything, right? Like I always joke that like Virgos can tell when you're going to break out before you have a pimple, right? Because they're looking at your skin under a microscope and they're like, I think you might break out right here in 2 weeks. And it's like, wow, thanks, you know? But that's the gift of Virgo. They're looking so closely at everything that they can see your flaws on a microscopic level. So if you're done with that, we can also just say thank you to the eclipse energies and like, I'm good, right? Let's pull the microscope back. I don't need to see everything so closely. So I do want to set an intention tonight. I asked my spirit guides because, and I always ask, like, some eclipses are not really designed for spiritual work, in my opinion. The energy is just too frenetic and it's too unpredictable. But this one feels good for intention setting. And so here's what I got in meditation. You do with it what you want. It's your practice. If you set an intention for release tonight and for forgiveness, that's working with the energy of this eclipse. It's not working against it. So that kind of work would be supported. Other intentions, like if you're like, I'm going to set an intention for abundance and prosperity, I would say, you know what, let's just wait 1 more month for that. But if your intention is, I need to finally sit this thing down or sit this person down, or at least be open to doing it a different way. If that's your intention, you are so well supported at this particular new moon. I would really encourage you to hold that space. Yeah, and fearless intuitive goddess, you are like just spot on, because it is a grounded earth energy. You know, this is not, if this eclipse was happening in Scorpio, if this eclipse was happening in almost any other sign, Aries, Taurus, right? Like I would be sitting in a different space. Taurus maybe, but not as much as Virgo. Okay. Any questions about any of this? Like, I just want to frame how you think about it, what you start to focus your attention and intention on, because I do want it to be thoughtful. You know what I mean? So where do you need to move this energy tonight? Yeah. And I've been cleaning and organizing a lot too. And by the way, I'm done with that. That was really boring. I'm like, you know, thank you, Virgo. Once again, I got a closet cleaned out, right? But it's not really how I love spending my time. So, but if that worked for you, I think that's great. Okay. I'm going to burn some sage. So what is the, what word comes to mind for you when you think about, if you had to summarize the energy of this eclipse, this particular year, this Virgo Pisces axis, what would be one word that would summarize the energy for you? Mine is about clean relationship, clarifying assumptions and misunderstandings, and actually putting things on the table, even if they're difficult to do. You know, sometimes in relationships, you're like, ugh, I know how that conversation's going to go. Why even bother, right? Or like, you know, because I'm not going to bring it up again. I brought it up so many times. But this time the outcome will be different. You could actually get to a place of clarity. So I just want to encourage you to, you know, shift your perspective as well. Look at that list right there, by the way. So exhaustion, betrayal, unsettling, annoying, scraping, and raw. Scraping is a good word, actually. It feels kind of scrapey. That's Virgo, though. Virgo scrapes, you know. They leave no stone unturned. But Lena has an inner calm, which I like that too. Shannon says confusing, right? And then we've got Beth on the kind of the other end of that spectrum with clarifying. Whew. This is good stuff. Increased suffering for Melissa Hope. Sometimes. I mean, sometimes you got to go through it. You know, I've been saying that in different ways tonight. Sometimes you have to go through that. Please tell me I have fire. Oh, yay. I always laugh when I don't have fire, like, hi, I'm the sage goddess and I don't have a fire source. Some divine irony to that. So there's some white sage smoke for you. Into that smoke, release anything that isn't serving you, doesn't belong to you, right? It's too heavy for you to carry. I want you to visualize tonight that from today forward, it's like Inanna's descent, right? We got to start to strip away all the stuff from this year that just, so that we can rest when the time comes, right, in December. And by the way, I want to wish a very happy spring to all of our loves in the Southern Hemisphere. I have a lot of community, big communities in the Southern Hemisphere of Sage Goddess. So, and a lot of times you guys join us, even though the time zones are wonky. So welcoming spring with you tonight while we turn toward the darker side. Isn't that cool? There's always a polarity, right? The sage didn't burn very long, so you guys must not be bringing too much stuff to the circle this evening. Sometimes the sage doesn't want to go out. You're pretty clear tonight. I like it. Oh, you guys are so sweet. I'm way overdue for getting my hair done. I've just been too busy. So you're so sweet to say that I look okay. I was like, maybe I can hide my gray with my headband. Okay, so I'm going to go into the book. I'm going to open a circle first, just because whenever we do ceremonial work on a big high holiday, I do like to just have a nice tight container for you. I was going to play both bowls, but I think I'm just going to play the bowl as I welcome each of the guides and guardians into our circle this evening. If that works for you, because Paxton got into my singing bowl situation. So welcoming in the guides and guardians of the East tonight. Guides and guardians of air, welcoming them into our circle. And so you guys, of course, in the Southern Hemisphere, starting your spring season tonight, you guys are facing east. So we welcome that with you. And so in the East, we want to welcome in dawn, right? The first breath, first light, a doorway to a new cycle, a new beginning. For us, if we're opening a doorway, a portal to year end tonight. So we're giving thanks for everything that grew and came with us so far. And then we're releasing the things that can't come with us into the season of rest. And a big deep breath there. And welcoming in guides and guardians of the South. That's the direction of fire. That's the season we're leaving behind. So thanking the guardians of summer for all of the memories and the expansion and the growth, the beauty that we enjoyed this year. You think about it, you only have so many summers in your life. And this year is behind us now. So hoping you enjoyed the beauty, the warmth. It's still warm where some of us are, but the days now turn shorter. So thanking the guides and guardians of the South for all the passion, desire, connection, strength, transformation that came in their season. And then welcoming in the guides and guardians of the West, we turn and face you tonight as we greet the season of autumn in the Northern Hemisphere. And so in the West, we find nurturing, right? We're going to start to rest now. This is where the mother energy lives. So comfort is here, tenderness, nourishment, releasing, healing, allowing, surrendering, all of that in the West. And you can feel the shift, right? The shift from fire, intensity, to softness, to releasing, to nurturing. So we embrace the energy of the West tonight. And then calling in the guides and guardians of the North. And that is element of earth. That's where we will turn next in December. And so in the North, we welcome in all of the guides of steadiness, patience, perseverance, strength, grounding, protection. And then one final welcome in for guides and guardians of the spirit element, the Akash, the ether. That's the element that comes in and animates the other four, completes the fifth point on the pentacle. So we welcome in the element of spirit for magic, serendipity, and possibility. And with that, our circle is open. I light my candles. You know, as soon as I hear the word fall, I want to light more candles. So I'm going to light both my harvest candle and I'm going to light my new moon candle too. And you are welcome to do the same or whatever you have that you're working with. So, and then I'm going to eat my tomato nasturtium salad, just a bite with you, after I do my releasing work. So that's going to be my little ceremony tonight. Again, if you have something that you grew, go grab it so you can take a bite of it, even if it's an edible flower or an herb. If you don't have anything you grew, but you have some really ripe apples, which are very traditional, right? Even for Rosh Hashanah, apples and honey, anything like that, something sweet. Because what we believe in all of these traditions, the commonality between Mabon and Rosh Hashanah is this idea that we want to sweeten the year ahead, right? We want to give thanks for the blessings of the year behind, and we want to sweeten the blessings of the year ahead. Take a breath with me. Are you ready? If you do this work tonight, I think it's good for your health. I really do. Some of you are carrying stuff that really doesn't belong to you. And I don't know, this feels like a powerful channel for us to do some good work together tonight. And I'm proud of you because it's not easy to do. So 14 things it's time you forgave yourself for. Number 1, the big things you changed your mind about. The dream job you never thought you'd quit, the person you didn't think you'd ever leave, the plans for your future that never came to pass. We have to forgive ourselves for having the self-awareness to change our minds about the really big things in life. So I want you to think about one big thing you changed your mind about. I've had 100, but I'm a Leo. Holy shit, I think I change my mind about everything every day. You ready? So let's do a breath here, an inhale. Gather up that energy and let's forgive ourselves for the big things. I'm seeing in the feed about a party at Tanya's house, and I want to make sure I'm invited. I've been making really awesome coconut margaritas that I could bring. Yeah, and you are welcome to share, by the way, like Luna Blue, my ability to have children. Inhale, exhale there, right? For me, it was, I need to forgive myself for not choosing the right life partner. That's a big one. I didn't make a lifelong choice. Right? And now if you can't do this one, it's okay. I don't want you to feel like you got to do something here, right? We've got 13 more to go. I'm going to make this quick. We're not going to spend as much time on each one, okay? Number 2, I want you to forgive yourself for the ways in which you fought through pain. Listen to this one, okay? The dark paths you shouldn't have gone down. The crazy things you did in the name of coping that may have brought more damage than good. This is a big one for me, right? Like when we're going through a lot, you may have done stuff to cope that wasn't great. Can you forgive yourself? Because if you do, you're going to forgive your body, you're going to forgive your mind, you're going to forgive your soul, you're going to forgive everything, right? So inhale here. Forgiving ourselves for our coping mechanisms because you're human and you did the best you could at the time. And I'm really proud of you, right? This is a big, big, big one. Some of these are big, gives me chills. You ready for this one? It's time to forgive the person you could never love properly. The person whose words and body never quite fit with yours, whose thoughts were not the yin to your yang. The person you tried to get it right was so hard that it felt like your heart would never keep beating, but who eventually had to let go. You can't force love. And when you let it bloom somewhere else, it only makes us all freer in the end. I love that, Tanya. I love you. Number 4 is just fun. I think it's like comic relief. Number 4 is the fries that you ate with your lunch today. And it just says, you'll survive this. So let's forgive mine was the maple donut I had for breakfast that no one needed that. So, okay, number 5. We're back to the serious ones now. All the ways in which you are not enough. The body you'll never have, the knowledge you will never acquire, the courage you'll never muster, and the effort you can't put in. You may never be brave enough or smart enough or strong enough to suit someone else's ideal, but you are always perfectly you enough. And the moment you realize how important that is, the sooner you can let the rest go. Not being enough for everybody else. I'm so not. At least once a day, somebody tells me that I'm not enough. And it's like, I'm doing the best I can. I wish I had 2 more arms, 12 more hours in a day, an extra brain would be great, right? Number 6, the way you treated your parents when you were young. This is a big one for me. I was an asshole. You were awful. Yes, thank you, I was. And infuriating and insufferable. But now those days are behind you. And if they're not, if you're 16 and you're reading this now, please hug your parents and tell them you love them. If you're 16 and being an asshole to your parents, please turn around now, look at your parents and say, I'm sorry. Because you are sorry. You just don't know it yet. Right? It's never too late to say, I'm sorry. Number 7, the way you treated yourself most of your life. Every flaw you picked apart against every mirror, every lie you told yourself about your limitations, every I'm not good enough thought that ever floated through the recesses of your mind. We have to forgive ourselves for not being our own best friends, our own biggest cheerleaders. We didn't know what a difference that would make to love ourselves until we finally did. That's a big one. Number 8. I think this is an interesting one. The useless degree you took in college. Or anything you spent time on that you think, I didn't use that. The world is changing quickly. Once upon a time, there really were jobs for undergraduate philosophy majors. Or English and Spanish majors like me. But the cool thing about the world we do live in is that it's getting smaller every day. And you'll be shocked by the way all of your useless experiences will come in handy. So forgive that if you need to. Number 9, the breaks you took from life. This is a big one for me. The semester when life got you down and you needed a break, the year you spent living at home, the months of self-loathing and fear that you wish you could wipe from your mind. We all get overwhelmed sometimes, but we're stronger for having some space to go through these breaks. We figured out how to bounce back harder. So forgive yourself for the breaks, right? I actually got in trouble as a professor for taking maternity leaves too close to each other, for having children too close to each other. Yeah. So, and I felt guilty for that for a long time until I realized my children are 2 years apart. It's not that crazy. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's true. Mm-hmm. So I had to forgive myself ultimately because I felt so much guilt about that. And I'm so glad I had good maternity leaves. Yeah, it turns out that wasn't legal. But who cares now? Number 10, the chances you didn't take. The chances you did not take. The places you didn't travel to, the experiences you chose not to have. The person you did not chase after when they decided to walk away. A lot of us carry that. We have to unclasp our palms and let go of every alternate reality where we think we're going to be happier, stronger, and brighter because of all the things we would have done differently. Those universes do not exist, but ours does, and it's okay here to forgive. Number 11, this is a big one for me. The things you didn't say until it was too late. The I love yous that we let slide, the phone calls we didn't pick up, the messages we forgot to pass on. We believe our words and intentions could have changed things, so we use our words now. We don't let I love you slide anymore. We pick up the phone and we forgive ourselves for all the times we didn't. because you think you have time. I'll call her tomorrow. Number 12, the disasters you didn't see coming. That's me. Every person you shouldn't have trusted. Every fun night out that went wrong. Every choice that should not have been made. Except we don't live our lives that way. We live forward. And we don't get the privilege of knowing if our choices will be right or wrong before we make them. And if we're living life well, we're going to be wrong a lot of the time. How are you doing with these? The last two are really cool. You ready? You ready? Number 13, whatever you are still not ready for. This is me too. Every fear that's holding you back right now, every leap of faith you haven't made, every story you're telling yourself about where you should be by the age that you're currently at. We're all a little not ready for life at every age. We're all a little bit gun shy, and we're all trying, in whatever small ways we know how, to do our best. So give yourself the time you need to grow. It's all going to happen, just not on the timeline you think it will. Yeah, this one was a big one for me too. I love number 14 most of all. It's not the deepest, but I think it's really special. Number 14 is forgive yourself for the mistakes you haven't made yet. Because there's a humanity to this one. You're not done living, so you're not done fucking up, right? Like, if you're lucky, you might be able to make one more mistake before you go to bed tonight. Because as much as we like to believe that we're eternally out of the woods now, we're not, and we're going to screw up again. We're going to fall down. We're going to make other huge, inconsolable mistakes that will diminish us. And thank God, because the day we stop making mistakes, we are not here anymore. We have to give ourselves enough room and grace to make them. That's a big inhale, exhale. Mistakes you have not made yet, right? Which one should I eat? I didn't wash them. I just wiped the dirt off. They're kind of dirty. I feel like the orange one needs to go with the nasturtium. The author of the book is Heidi Priebe, Priebe. Big shout out to Heidi Priebe for This Is Me Letting You Go. It's the best $20 you'll spend. It's a great book. So, thank you. Oh, I wish you could smell this. This tomato smells like, it smells like fruit. I mean, I know tomatoes are, but it really smells like it. So, aho, cheers. Thank you for this beautiful harvest. I wish you were here. I'd share with you. I'd cut up these two little tomatoes into 540 pieces. So now I'm not a tomato person. I can't stand tomatoes unless I grow them or they're heirloom. Somebody else has grown them. But fresh tomatoes all day long. The only thing that would have made that better would have been a little bit of salt. And nasturtiums are packed with vitamins and trace minerals. It's so healthy for you. So if you grow nasturtiums, and by the way, the leaves are yummy. They're a little peppery, really good on salad. I know. So eat something yummy from your garden or something ripe today in honor of the equinox. Okay. So now that we've done that really important piece of work, got my drum ready. Now we need to call in. Now we need to set the intention. That music is just a little club for me, and I'm on my own tonight, so bear with me. I'll be right back. Much better. Much better. Thank you. This dress is 100 years old. It really is. I've had this dress since I was maybe 20, 25. So it felt good to put something old on tonight and bring a new vibe to it. Okay, so I've got my drum. Remember that the intention tonight is around releasing and forgiveness. If you want to roll my way, right? Again, we're not charging stones tonight. We're not making moon water. We're not doing all those things because the eclipses are too weird for me. But there are practitioners who love working with eclipse energy, and I encourage you to do what is right for you. I don't have my eclipse candle here, which is ironic. I forgot to ask the team to send one home with me, but I have it at the shops. If you have the new eclipse candle, that's the one to burn tonight too, called Sacred Release, but I just don't have it here. So I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to allow yourself to really get out of your head a little bit. I can feel you in your head, right? It's Virgo. So the Virgo new moon is really hard to dream big because Virgos don't like intention setting. Every Virgo I know is always like, they're so practical. You know what I mean? And intention setting is so vibrational and it's so amorphous, right? It's like Virgos are just not usually into it. So I need you to get out of your head and into your heart a little bit. Take a deep breath in. Don't think this one. Feel this one. And when I ask you to set an intention to forgive, again, you can think about someone else, but I think no matter who you think about, it comes back to you, this energy, because again, it's really not about them. It's really about you, right? So when you're setting an intention, you want to speak it out loud or write it down. Those are my favorites. Thinking about it is not as powerful, right? There's a reason we have language. And there's a reason that we have written language and verbal language. So it's stronger vibrationally. So you can say it out loud, you can type it, you can write it down. But it should be something like, I welcome the capacity to forgive myself for, and finish the rest of the sentence. Or I am forgiven for, I claim forgiveness for. I receive, I welcome, I claim, I allow. Whatever that is for you. I don't know what it is for you. And Virgo's really good for like dig a little deeper. Like the first thing that comes to mind may not be it. It might be like one click down from that. Try to go as deep as you can tonight with it. And I'll share with you the way I'm thinking about tonight. The last 3-4 years of my life, when I look back now, there's so many times and places and moments that I wish I could just go back and make one small change here, one more tweak here, or change my perspective there. And we can't, right? And ultimately everything happens the way it's supposed to and gets us where we're going. But the way I'm thinking about this, my intention for tonight is to see tonight as really a clean, clear slate and start to focus on when my mind tracks back to woulda, coulda, shoulda, I'm going to try really to notice that, bring it back to the present moment and focus it on the here forward, right? Making sure that I've integrated the wisdom of all of those experiences, but knowing that I don't have to live there anymore, right? And I can't change that. So I have to, work across that dividing line and push my consciousness toward the future. So my intention for tonight is I welcome, I embody, I experience, I allow a complete reboot, a complete refresh. And with that, I'm going to allow myself to look at people differently, look at experiences differently, look at relationships differently, look at the work I do in the world differently, and the way I parent, every relationship, I'm going to allow myself the gift, the grace of the release, of not trying to live in the past or constantly rethink or review. imagine how much energy, right? And it's true, like so many of the great minds of our time talk about this, like different ways to get into the subconscious and do that rewiring or that recreating, right? Reimagining, reframing, all of that, right? So again, I want to use the breath here, just a big deep breath in and a full big exhale. So let's set this intention free. You feel the energy. This song to drum with it, it's either or slow. So I want you to imagine that great big angel wings, eagle wings come now to you. And they gather everything that you just let go. They gather everything that you just gave yourself permission to dream of. And they take it skyward. They elevate it. They manifest it now on your behalf. They create space for it. So we give this freedom, we give this release, we give this space to Great Spirit, God, Goddess, and Source of all it is. And we give permission for you to manifest this energy on our behalf. Guide us, help us, clear the path for us so that we can integrate the wisdom of this eclipse cycle in a good way. And together we say, Amen. Aho. So it is. Woo. You feel better? I can feel a shift. I can definitely feel there's a release. There's a lightness. Had a little bit of tension in my back most of the day, and that shifted, and it usually does. As soon as when I notice those little like pinches and tightness, it's almost always an energy that just needs permission to go. And I want you to visualize it. Just let it go. Because the motivation is whatever you release now, and it's going to continue, right? You're going to, this exfoliation process, we started it tonight, but it will continue. All that means is you're not carrying all this dead weight into the winter with you. It'll be easier for you to rest and do the work of winter, which is releasing, allowing, letting go, and surrendering, resting, sleeping, hibernating, if you're not carrying all the shit of this year. So before we close the circle, I want to just say a big thank you to our planet, to Mother Gaia, for all the beautiful crops and everything that she has brought forward through this incredible harvest to nourish us, mind, body, and spirit. Be mindful, when you eat and consume, how much time. I always tell you, the smallest things amaze me in my garden. That citrus takes 9 months to create. Those oranges, when we drink orange juice, we don't think about citrus has a 9-month gestation cycle, just like humans, right? So everything that you enjoy and consume takes time. So it's nice on this day just to say thank you. Because how beautiful is nature? I mean, really, just how beautiful. Simplicity. And that's a model for us too, right? It can all be so much simpler if we allow it to be. So thanking and releasing the guides and the guardians Actually, I'm going to leave this burning because we have our after party, which is another Maybon ceremony tonight in Wax Wane. If you'd like to join us in half an hour, Circe will put up the link. It's never too late to join us, but if you want to join us for Maybon, that's where I will be in half an hour. So I'm going to leave my candles burning. I'm going to extinguish my new moon. Thanking and releasing the guides and guardians of spirit, guides and guardians of the north, guides and guardians of the west, the south, the east, and all spirit guides and ancestors who chose to join us tonight. Thanking and releasing them, giving thanks for the energies that are behind us now. This eclipse corridor closes with us tonight. And now we move into a more direct set of phases that I think are going to help you feel more stable, more grounded, more aligned, and hopefully a little bit lighter and more peaceful. You're so welcome. Happy birthday to your mama. She's 69 today. Can we make 69 jokes with her, or is she real serious? I remember doing that with my mom. She didn't think it was funny. I'm like, 69, Mom. She's like, anyway, happy birthday to her. Love you guys. So I will see you. I'll see you in the after party, or if I don't see you in the after party, we have Magical Entrepreneur tomorrow. We have a Lair Live coming up this Thursday. I've got Rock Talk with Robin on Friday. So lots more ahead. Have a great rest of your evening, everybody. I'll see you soon.